Hey Atul. Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Khushbu, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. We'll just wait for a few minutes for more people to join in.
Sure.
Till then, let me quickly let you share screen. You wanna go ahead and share screen?
Yeah, I'm trying. Wait. It's not letting me.
Mm. Can you check now?
Yeah, it's letting me do it now. Can you see the screen now, Khushbu?
I can.
Perfect. Let me
All
know it.
right. Okay, so if you could maybe just stop screen sh share for
Yeah.
once. I- We have a couple of people. Okay, all right. So, uh, let's just start. We'll have more people progressively. So to quickly set some context, and quickly introducing myself, Khushbu Rastogi this side. I look after overall partnerships for D2C Insider. D2C Insider is a founders only community, and we represent D2C as an ecosystem in India. And we are one of largest conference of the D2C landscape in India. A bunch of community initiatives that we do. Webinars is one of such. And the idea of hosting webinars is to make sure that we unlock the unknowns in the D2C landscape. And every month we plan to pick a topic that will be value adding to our community members and to D2C, uh, people who are interested in the D2C space, for them to learn a little bit more about D2C as a sector. And this is our small initiative as part of our large community. Today's topic that we are going to cover is how e-commerce can be a way forward for MSMEs. So basically, how small brands can really shape up their growth in the e-commerce world. Uh, and who better than Atul Mehta, our host for today, who's going to share and take us through the journey of micro, small, and medium enterprises of India and how they can really look at e-commerce in terms of their future growth trajectories. Happy to share a little bit about Atul before we start and why I think that he is best suited for this topic. Um, Atul is the Chief Operating Officer of ShipRocket, which is India's leading e-commerce enablement platform. As the COO, he commands the e-commerce enablement platform in India, where he spearheads multiple departments. Atul also has 18 plus years of experience. Prior to ShipRocket, he led Amazon Pantry, which is one of Amazon's leading online grocery program. He took it from a single city to a pan-India program, and has also played senior executive roles at at Unilever and bunch of other feathers to his successes. And Atul is a proud alumni of IIT Kharagpur and IIM Kolkata. So that explains the kind of growth trajectory that you've had. So over to you, Atul. But before that, a quick context. We will have the presentation, and post that. Once you're done with the presentation, we'll open up for a quick Q&A session. And yeah, so that's about it. So over to you.
Thanks, Khushbu, for the introduction. And I must start by commending the team at D2C Insider for the great job they are doing. And I'll come to it why what this is important because see, in the context of the discussion we are having today on how SMBs and small brands can really pick up e-commerce as their as the way they start their entrepreneurship journey, you need
Hmm.
ecosystem enablers like D2C Insider for the brands to be able to learn from each other and create forums like this so that they can grow, right? So great job done there and super excited to be talking to the audiences here. Um, Let me quickly jump on. I'll share my screen.
Before that, quickly want to check if everyone can hear us because there was someone who mentioned that they can't hear.
Uh,
Uh, you can maybe start sharing, Atul, till the time.
got it. All right. Let me start. Great. Okay. So before we get into what we need to, I'm going to talk a bit about what is required to succeed when you're starting off in e-commerce. But I think it'll be good to just look at how the e-commerce segment in the country has evolved, because a lot of what I'm going to talk about is linked to how the journey so far has been. Right. So 2013 is when e-commerce in India almost started. Right. This was the year when Amazon entered India. Flipkart was what, a year and a half old. We had 100 million plus internet users. Um, the marketplace experience, and if you remember, anyone would have shopped in 2013, 2014, wasn't what it is today. So it was very primitive. It was just the initial seeds of not many customers were confident of buying online. You weren't sure of what you are going to get. There were no dedicated e-commerce shipping solutions available. I remember Amazon, when they started with India Post and a bit of Blue Dart, because e-commerce shipping as a term was completely non-existent in the country at that point of time, right? Um, quickly jump to 2018, right? 2013 to 2018 was the time when marketplace e-commerce really boomed, right? It grew to what, like 30, 40 billion dollars was what e-commerce was in 2018, predominantly marketplace. They scaled really well. They made intervention on the customer experience. Amazon, ATS, eCart were there. You had the likes of First Price scaling, the Lenscarts, and the Icons of the world starting to emerge, etc. So there were more options coming, and the existing players were strengthening their mode. But even when this was happening, D2C was just getting started. And what helped D2C to get started was Shopify, initial few years, was able to set up a base, and hence you had access to cart solutions, which are robust and global. You had folks like Razorpay starting to provide solutions to merchants. So you could take payment. You had Facebook advertising evolve so that brands could leverage channels to drive customers onto their dedicated carts. So barrier to entry from that piece was coming down, and sourcing had also evolved. You had contract manufacturers in Baddis of the world to be able to make products for you, but the post checkout system was still fledgling, right? Like you did not have the experience that the marketplaces were able to build in 2018. If marketplaces were 8 on 10 in 2018, D2C was still 2 on 10, right? And I really, and I hats off to all those guys who were doing D2C in 2018, because it wasn't easy being a small D2C brand, right? If you were a big conglomerate, I know Unilever was trying to do something on the e-commerce side in 2018. You had the muscle, you had the resources to be able to do something. But as a D2C brand was starting off with ecosystem not being there, it wasn't very easy. You did not have fulfillment solutions. Today you have what, 10 plus fulfillment warehousing service providers, right? Right from Shiprocket to Amiza to whatnot, right? Delivery operations were not streamlined. You did not have a lot of options. Forget about tools on keeping the customers engaged. You were just, in not all cases, you're not even sending SMSs to customers on their orders, no visibility of real-time inventory. Um, Nothing on the side of data intelligence. So this was what life was in 2018. But what has happened genuinely over the last 4 or 5 years is the ecosystem around D2C has really evolved. And we talked about this. Yeah, it was for the consumer as well. D2C shopping was not so seamless as it is today. It was the gap between you shopping in Amazon versus you shopping on a D2C website in 2018. Compare that to what you have in 2023, we have come a long way, right? And that's what is reflected in some of the numbers. Today, you have 50,000 plus D2C brands in the country. We serve some 70,000 unique sellers every month on ShipRocket. There are some 40,000, there are some 25 to 30,000 Shopify websites in India right now. You have D2C brands crossing 100 crore turnovers in 3 to 5 years. The total market of D2C, of the total e-commerce market of around 60 odd billion today, potentially will be somewhere around 12 odd billion, the estimated market size. A lot of it happening on marketplace, some part of it happening on direct commerce as well. So D2C overall has come a long way from where we were. And if you look at what changed from 2018 to 2023, I think pre-checkout was always sorted. What happened was the post-checkout gap between marketplaces and D2C really came down, right? You had conventional warehouses earlier, or no warehouses, you have tech-enabled warehouses. Delivery tags were all over the place. The Amazons of the world had Prime at that point of time. Today, you have brands delivering same day and next day. So the gap between an Amazon Prime and a D2C Shopify website experience has come down. It's still, you haven't been able to cross it yet. Marketplaces still have a lead, but it has come down. There wasn't any order tracking. You couldn't ship across the country. You did not have easy solutions like UPIs, a UPI or payment wallets. You had to enter your card details all the time, whereas on a marketplace, you have all your details saved. So it was a breeze shopping on marketplaces. On the checkout side, when it comes to D2C, it was really a struggle. But this is what has happened over the last 4 or 5 years, which has helped us get here. But this is just a tip of the iceberg. I talked about 30,000 Shopify websites. US has 3.5 million Shopify websites. And if anything, India over the next few years is going to have 3.5 million Shopify websites, because if people can innovate in states, there's no reason why we cannot create thousands of brands. The consumer preferences and choices as it evolved in states is going to evolve here as well. As I get more and more aware of what's happening around it, I'm not going to be happy with a Dove or a Lifebuoy or a Lux or the standard brand. I'm going to seek different brands who potentially are catering to the niche requirements I have. So yes, the 3.5 million brands are going to happen. Today, D2C commerce is what? 15, like 10 to 15% of the total e-commerce. It's predominantly dominated by marketplaces. Amazon, Flipkart, Meesho will be 90% of e-commerce in the country. D2C will be, and I'm adding the lens cut of the word as well, and D2C will be 10%. In US, this number is 45%. So not only is e-commerce going to grow, we together are going to go through that journey of going from 10 to 45. And that's in that context, what we do on D2C Insider. And that's why I was talking about it. It is related to the context. Becomes important that we together have to ensure the 30,000 become 3.5 million.
Yeah.
And our hypothesis in ShipRocket is that we have come a long way. And why and how will that happen? When entrepreneurs and brands are able to create an experience which is same or better than marketplaces for their native cards.
Absolutely.
And that, if you see on the pre-checkout piece, a lot of it has already happened. You try searching for fashion on Amazon, and you try searching for fashion on Bewakoof likes.
Much better.
Experience is so much better, right? When you are in the native Shopify experience, your pre-checkout journey is a breeze. You can customize your detail page. You can talk so much to the customer about what you stand as a brand. Discovery solutions have also evolved. You have Facebook, Google, InstaShop, etc. So there are avenues for you to engage with your buyer and get them interested in you. Omnichannel solutions are being also adopted by brands. So, that part of discovery has happened. But you know what happens? The buyer discovers the brand and then goes to Amazon and buys it. If the brand is listed on Amazon, if it's not listed there, the buyer, the trust deficit starts kicking in. And we believe to win this market and to scale from the 10% D2C to 45% D2C, to scale from 30,000 Shopify website to 3.5 million Shopify websites, a key component is going to be how seamless and smooth the post-checkout experience is. And it's not only about logistics. It's not about, I'll get an order, I'll deliver. Because, and I keep saying this to folks, I was in Amazon before this. Amazon has two teams, distinct, like they have a lot of teams, but broadly two teams. One is a customer experience team, which builds the experiences around what you see on search, detail page, gateway, etc. And then there's a backend team, which is called the DEX team, which is delivery experience team. Prime reports to delivery experience. All the warehouses report to delivery experience. Amazon is Amazon today because the DEX team, not the CX team. And what we have to build is a DEX, which is shared for the 3 million folks in the country, so that direct commerce scales, so that D2C brands there are a lot more D2C brands which are innovated in the country, and then they are able to scale, right? Just a quick, in that context, summary on when I say post-checkout experience, what do I mean? What does it mean? I think I'm going to split it into what the buyer demands when he means post-checkout experience, and what is it that you should do as a brand, right? So buyer demands, I should be able to order a wide range of products. If you have a portfolio of 100 products, I should be able to see all of them and be able to order it from any part of the country to any part of the country. So what do you need for that is your inventory accuracy has to be top notch. So you need to have invested in robust systems, a basic WMS to be able to have your inventory in stock, leverage fulfillment so that you are able to operate 24/7 and not be restricted by, oh, I'm going on 3 days vacation, so my orders are not going to be delayed by 3 days. That's as a buyer, you won't appreciate it if you're shopping from anyone. Um, how are you able to cater to the entire needs across the country? Yeah. So get reach, get inventory accuracy, get round the clock fulfillment is something you should definitely do. Sell every time, everywhere is how I put it. Smooth checkout experience, right? I briefly mentioned, talked about it. Try shopping on Amazon and try shopping on a D2C website.
Yeah.
No surprises that you have 60% COD or 65% COD because you really need to be invested in doing a prepaid transaction on a
Absolutely.
Shopify website. While on Amazon, it's a breeze. Or Flipkart,
Hmm.
it's a breeze because you have everything stored there, right? So do invest in a checkout solution, right? There is faster, there's quick, there are few other options, but I'm saying it is imperative that you do that because what we've seen with every customer we have onboarded on our checkout solution is a consistent 25 to 30% conversion increase. It's very intuitive. You autofill addresses. You fetch the latest payment option which they had selected. A process which would have taken 4 or 5 steps becomes a single step process, and the interface and the experience becomes better. This is one place, in fact, I'd like to mention where I think over the next 1.5 years, direct commerce will have a lead over marketplaces. Today, on websites which have the checkout solution embedded, I personally find my checkout experience faster and
Yes.
smoother than what I have on Amazon. Because there for OTP, it sends me somewhere else. I have to go to my. Whereas this, it's so seamless. It's UPI first. I click, I go to GPay, I'm immediately out of the transaction, etc. So do invest in a good checkout experience. It's super important to drive conversion. You'll be spending a lot in getting the traffic to your website. Make it count. Third is fast and predictable shipping options. 5 to 7 days delivery promise in today's day and age is criminal. If your website says either doesn't talk about it or says 5 to 7 days, uh, it's almost like taking your buyers for a ride. Because while you're expecting them to give you money, you are not telling them when they are going to get the product. Just imagine being on the other side of the transaction. You don't know whether it's coming in 3 days or 10 days or whatever, right? So what he's saying is give me on-time delivery, tell me the date, and ideally give me an option to get it faster. And if you want to, I might potentially be willing to pay more for it. Like people do, non-prime customers do pay for prime shipping at times when they want it faster. Right. So yeah, some of the key things you should do is um, do rely on a mix of of e-commerce shipping partners and have some rules or work with a partner like us to be able to figure out which is the right partner for a particular order on a given day, and it keeps changing. If Delhi to Bangalore partner X is doing well, it might not be the same partner who's the best for that a month later because of on-ground challenges which keep happening, right? It's not anyone's fault. It's just the e-commerce shipping is complicated and complex. And kudos to all the partners who do that and help us scale. But yeah, you have to be conscious that you make those right selections. Have faster delivery options, same day, next day. Today, again, with the ecosystem evolving, uh, gone are the days where for a faster delivery option, you had to fetch, a 40% premium. Today, at a 5 to 10% premium, you can get an accelerated delivery option. Do have the expected delivery date, which is customer PIN code aware on your website. And if you're struggling with that, just do ping me after this because I think this is the lowest hanging fruit, which while we have done a lot as an ecosystem on the checkout side or on the faster speed sides, even for the best of the websites, at times I see the delivery date promise is 3 to 7 days. There's enough signs uh, which can help you give a very definitive promise, just like you get on Amazon. Order within the next X minutes and get it by Y. It can be very sharp if you are in warehousing. If it might be less sharp when you are not in warehousing, it might be padded by a day, etc. But you'll still be able to make a commitment to a buyer, which you potentially are not doing today if you're not doing this. All right. So very, very, very important piece on communicating and being more predictable about it. So when you communicate, have some science behind it on how you're communicating it. And the last one is better last mile deliveries. A large part of what at least we do on Shiprocket, because like I said, it's very complex. Uh, what the buyer least expects is at least tell me where the shipment is. When am I going to get it? Are you sending me enough notifications? SMS. I don't think anyone is able to grasp the SMS on notification. The SMS notifications, given so much of junk what we are getting. So if you're not sending updates to your buyers on WhatsApp, you're not building a first good impression. Um, be able to have a two-way communication with them on when it is about a delivery which is going south. uh First time was not success, you were not available, address is not found. Do you have systems for the buyer to tell you, or do you have to call them, or they have to reach out, automate large part of it? There are NDR automation systems available. Leverage that. Have a curated branding experience. I keep giving this example. When a customer is on your D2C website, it's almost like you're meeting your fiance for the first time. You spend 30 minutes with them, and when the product is delivered, that's say the day of your marriage. Do you talk,
What
do
it
you
that?
not talk between the first time you meet your fiance and the delivery and the date of marriage? You do, right? That's
Yeah,
the courtship period. Your the 3-4 days when the shipment is out and in transit is an opportunity for you to
to make
create
a
that courtship
delightful
experience.
experience.
Yes. So that when the product is delivered, there's already a positive disposition, and the buyer already think, yeah, this is a brand I love working. And I keep giving this example of this brand, Avimi Herbal. I ordered from them, and I think it was at a time when Shark Tank was on, and I think they got a surge of orders, surge of
Hmm, I'm
Well,
sure.
their operations are all over the place. You know what? They used to have a recorded video of Nanaji. He was their main mascot,
Ambassador.
talking about how they are finding it so tough to fulfill orders, and that
Oh,
it came 5 days late. But they translated that adversity into an opportunity. And today there's a story I'm talking about
here.
this forum.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's that 4-5 days we forget order aa gaya chalo theek hai ab paisa aa gaya matlab no them engage. What is your branding, what is your tracking page looks like? Does it look an immersive rich text tracking page, your Instagram feed embedded so that the brand can interact, the buyer can interact with the brand, because he's going to click on that link 2-3 times to know where
Hmm.
the shipment is, right? When an NDR happens, do you have those automated flows or not, which I talked about on the NDR management side. So I think an important period of from the time the shipment leaves to the time it is delivered for you to build a stronger bond with the buyer. How efficiently are you doing it is super critical. And yeah, this is on the post purchase experience. When for the same brand on the same product at the same pricing, if Amazon does a conversion of 10% on the D2C website today, it will be 2.5, 3%. And the biggest one is trust,
Hmm.
because the buyer is not sure what will happen if things go south. What you can do about it is to ensure, and it takes time to build that trust. But if you have enough post checkout, post delivery experience elements in your roadmap, that this is what I want to be as a post delivery. This is what my brand's post delivery experience is going to be. I do give 7 days refund, and the process is seamless. I
Hmm.
have brands. I've ordered from brands. This is 7 days return, and then it's like booking a train ticket on IRCTC experience when I have to do a return. Versus on Amazon, like you second time when you're shopping on a brand, that brand or some other brand, you are very cagey of. ये तो मैं नहीं order करूंगा because I don't know what is going to happen to me, right? So investing in a great post purchase experience is super critical. Easy exchanges, refunds, flexible return policy. More importantly, all this communicated to the buyer and done through a workflow. If you offer returns audit, are you asking the buyer to send you an email, or there's a link which he can click, like he clicks on Amazon, and the return request gets generated? And if you think that's very complicated to do, ping me. I'll give you 3 solutions, not only Shiprocket, 2 other also, which can set that up in less than half a day. So it's about and once you set that up, also ensure that you're communicating that on the detail page. Open any Amazon page, you'll see those trust widgets. We used to call them trust widget. It's non-returnable, it's a top brand,
Yeah,
it is this.
warranty,
Some
delivery
key,
time.
yes, some key messages or some key communication about the product which you want the consumer to be aware of. Ensure you do that on your detail page. Yeah. So that's what I had to share. I'll just summarize on the post checkout experience. Ensure you are there everywhere and you have round the clock fulfillment. Uh, Availability is the first thing where you need to win. Uh, can't be that because of breaks or because inventory planning went haywire, you are not available because you're only going to get those limited eyeballs. Make the experience of checkout easy and breeze, because all the traffic you are getting, if you can get a 25% uplift on the conversion by doing something on the checkout flow, that's 25% incremental GM in your pocket. Third, give better, faster delivery options. More importantly, ensure that you are communicating the same on the detail page. It's criminal not to do so. Um, Last mile deliveries, managing till the time it is delivered. It's the courtship period, leverage it really well. And the post delivery experience, you need to have your own roadmap. I'm not saying this fits. You might have 3-day return period or no return period, but you have to be clear on this is a active part of your strategy as you are building your T2C brand as an SMB. You do this right, there's no reason why buyers will be actively shopping more on our direct commerce destinations versus the marketplace. No, everyone wants the buying experience is so much better. It's just when it comes to post checkout, marketplaces have a head start. And that's fundamentally what we are trying to build. Like I said, we need an ecosystem. And we are saying that ecosystem can happen if a lot of partners come together and stitch that. Shopify, Razorpay, Unicommerce. So a lot many people coming together can create this ecosystem that the experience on D2C is as good or better than what you have on marketplaces. That's what we are trying to build. Started with shipping, which was basic. But then we realized if you want faster, you need fulfillment. So we got into fulfillment, and now we're realizing shipping, fulfillment are base. You need to be on the conversion side on delivering a delightful experience, like the Vimy Herbal experience I talked about. You need to create those avenues of differentiation when it comes to marketplace. So that's what we think breathe every day, and that's I think will be important for us as an ecosystem on D2C to continuously keep in mind as we try to scale this from 10% to 45%, as we scale this from 30,000 Shopify stores to 3.5 million Shopify stores. Yeah, so that's
Awesome.
what I had to share.
All right. Very, very insightful presentation, Atul. Bunch of things about the MSMEs also, about the current D2C brand founders also, as to how they can build the overall checkout, pre-checkout, and some post-checkout experience. Great analogy on the courtship side, being a fiance and then become getting into a marriage, and all that happens in between is all that really it builds for towards the end and for the long term. So thanks for that. I think I have a question as to, and I also have a couple of queries, with the details that you shared with us. So there is this person who wants to know that who's sharing that I had an influencer who claimed that she received an empty box, that she received empty boxes, no products inside. How to track where the leakage happened and how to ensure that it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I'm assuming this is coming from a brand who had sent something, right?
Yeah.
Uh, See, I think you can raise it. Um, okay, operations by itself is never going to be 100% perfect, right? So
Hmm.
there will be leakages, and I cannot give a definitive answer to because of this it won't happen, right? There it might be 0.1%, and Amazon it might be 0.1%, and D2C it might be 0.3%. I think what you should do is matlab raise it with whoever your partner today is, so that they can escalate and be able to sort of find do the right investigation with the courier and get a definitive response. I think that's from you as a seller, that's the best potentially you can do. I'll also pick this because when I was reading it, I first time I read it as something else, and maybe I'll give you an insight into this. Now think about it from the influencer side.
Hmm.
Influencer, when she shopped from you, got an empty product, and the same influencer, when she would have shopped your product on Amazon, would have had a very different experience, right? You might not
If
have been
that purchase happened, that
sorry.
if
Yeah.
that purchase happened, that is after that experience.
Yeah, no, I'm saying parallelly, if you would have ordered from both, in this
Yeah.
case, she's reaching out to you. She's first struggling to reach out to you,
Hmm.
right? And then you also don't have a way to sort of reach out, go behind, etc. Yeah, it's the same thing. Uh, it's just exactly same thing. I see the next question as well.
Yeah.
Right? It's exactly the same thing. It's just about in these specific instances going behind the courier, understanding where what went wrong, pushing them. And there are enough ways to validate today. There's CCTV cameras everywhere. You just need some time to be able to figure out there is leakage everywhere. There are those bad fishes everywhere on the delivery network side. Those 0.1% spoil the name at times
Hmm.
overall. But I think one of the key thing you should also reflect on is how easy or difficult it was for that particular consumer to raise that issue,
Absolutely.
right? Uh,
Yeah. It
what do
has
they
to be
have to
seamless
raise?
end to end. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there is this conversation you are doing with your logistics partner. I
Hmm.
understand. A lot of questions you are asking me about is, वो हम कैसे करें? They are brute force, sir, brute force. But I'm saying also to reflect on when the same buyer would have ordered from Amazon,
Hmm.
how would they have reached out to Amazon and how have they reached out to me? Does my tracking page have a link to say different from item order, or am I asking her to mail or call? And what happens when they mail or call versus if the same thing would have happened on Amazon? Financial, who takes the hit is one piece. The experience today on a marketplace and on D2C is not consistent for the buyer. We have to fix it for the buyer.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely right. I hope that answers the other question also that was asked. Other than that, Atul, there have also been so many frauds that we see with so many brands that are coming up also, right? That are you know taking birth by the hour, so to
Yeah.
say, considering how D2C as an ecosystem is growing. There are so many frauds also that happen, like even if with COD, D2C brands are able to do that, and there are so many brands coming up wherein they don't have COD, but they give you very enticing prices. And eventually, I mean, I've been a victim of it, that I ended up shopping because I saw that this is such a cool product and it's priced so frugally, and then I ended up buying it, and then it never came. And then when I reached to their website, I could see that there was nothing. So there is problem of plenty, and with that there are so many different kinds of problems that we don't even know of
Yeah.
uh, before, until we have that kind of experience. So now I'm very apprehensive, and I would pick and choose only brands that I would only go for COD when it's a new website. So any tips for brands to for them to cater to clients, like how with the mindset that I have, which I'm
Correct.
sure a lot of people also have, because they must have also had that experience.
Yeah. Very interesting. Let me.
Also, because why I say that is, sorry to cut you, that as Shiprocket, say for example, if you are implemented on my website as a
Yeah.
D2C brand founder, most of the times it's always white labeled, right? Me, before placing the order, wouldn't be able to know that it's ShipRocket is doing the end-to-end delivery for this product. Most likely that's the situation. Correct me if I'm wrong. So how in that case does one build that trust?
Great question. So we have a product in the pipeline, right? And I'm going to show you a sneak preview of that. Uh,
Hmm.
so bang on, and I'm saying you have recorded this, huh? Just give this video to me. I'll play it in somewhere when I'm talking more about the product. Exactly the same behavior. You have one bad experience. Now you're going to shop on COD across D2C merchants. A lot of
Yeah.
them here, a lot of them were on D2C Insider, and they struggle with COD. It's higher cost for them. The
Hmm.
logistics cost goes up. The logistic performance goes down. So, because of one guy who was trying to play with the
Yeah.
system, we as an ecosystem are creating headwinds for ourselves.
Hmm.
What we realized was and Amazon is able to do it really well because they manage shipping,
Yeah.
correct? And we do manage shipping for a lot of our merchants, correct? If anything goes wrong in the shipping of your product, your seller holds ShipRocket accountable, and we make them complete, right?
Hmm.
So डैमेज आया नहीं आया नेटवर्क में खो गया etc. We take ownership of that and we close that loop with the seller.
Hmm.
But we're thinking of sort of extending it to the buyer. Think of it as an ISI mark on the
Hmm.
website which says ShipRocket Promise or something. It says, you know what, this is one of the websites which ShipRocket delivers.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get delivered, you can tell ShipRocket and we'll refund the money.
Okay. So
Or if there's a
basically,
different item which comes, we'll refund the money. So I'm not an Amazon, but I
but
am
you're rubbing off your credibility to these budding D2C
which
brands.
I can do because I manage their shipping.
Yeah.
It's not about rubbing off credibility. That would have been a different thing. Oh, they're doing a great job. I'm actually not doing anything. I anyway manage post checkout. I
Hmm.
anyway know this seller is going to ship or not. Their COD money flows through me. So if the seller is fake, I can ensure the buyer is not hampered.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's
Yeah. That
brand.
could be game changing for brand.
Yes. So there's this website I'll show you. So this is Blue Nectar, one of the merchants where we have this live, which is ShipRocket Promise. There's a ShipRocket verified seller. Um, there's delivery guaranteed, secure transaction, easy order tracking. And then we have something on the buyer side, which is My ShipRocket, where you can track all your ShipRocket orders and
Hmm.
non ShipRocket orders as well, where you can raise this query if you have one. So,
Cool.
yes, building trust is super important.
Super
I
important.
think we are also thinking of some interventions on the fake side because, yeah, the amount of innovation which happens on the fake side, the model which I hear, you talked about a very basic model.
Hmm.
There's so much innovation. I sometimes I'm amazed. There's super bright guys doing this.
Hmm.
Every day you figure out a new modus operandi of people trying to fake this way through the e-commerce side. But
Hmm.
I think it's upon us as enablers, as all if all e-commerce logistic partners start building ways to identify these fake guys, and there are enough leading indicators to build that. You have
Yeah.
Shopify building those, you have Meta building those. You won't let them exist, right?
Yeah.
You're
So
talking
it's
about,
not only, yeah, it's
you're
not
talking,
only about a fast checkout, but also
yeah.
a safe and secure.
Yeah, that's safe and secure. It's less the brands need to do something about it. It's the
Yeah.
ecosystem which has to do.
Yeah.
You're talking about, a single tweet to be censored and
Hmm.
the expectation that you'll build robust systems to ensure that fake news is not peddled. And here,
Yeah.
fake websites getting orders and getting shipped at times also, which are fake orders.
Yeah.
We need to step up as ecosystem partners.
Hmm.
Monitor a message, monitoring a website should be okay.
Hmm. Cool. Thanks for answering that and giving your insights and helping in empowering us with what you guys are also coming and looking out for ways to solve for those problems. Couple more questions before we wrap up. Ways to contact the courier company directly during any mishap. than contacting Shiprocket, who always takes forever to reply?
The answer is not, and whoever forever takes to reply. See, I think it is. You can directly talk as well, but it's better that it is routed through here. And if it is taking forever to reply, either we are not clearly communicating why it is taking forever to reply. There are certain cases. I'll tell you the biggest challenge in e-commerce logistics in the country is information asymmetry.
Hmm.
You know, we get 100 escalations every day. 93 of them, I know they are going to come.
Hmm.
But I discovered this post facto. And we spend a lot of energy resources in figuring out उसमें क्या हुआ. अब Delhi to Bangalore says choked and Bangalore hub is choked. Right?
Hmm.
I can proactively tell the buyers and the sellers that yeah, there's not much which can happen here. Right?
Hmm.
The 93% today doesn't flow through really well through the different system. वो हब को पता है, कुरियर कंट्रोल सेंटर में नहीं पता है, वहां से आगे नहीं जा रहा है, सिस्टम में नहीं आ रहा है, बायर को नहीं पता लग रहा है, सेलर को नहीं पता लग रहा है. With which what happens is the 7% which are unique use cases. Actually, Delhi to Bangalore, there's no problem. But you know,
Hmm.
of 1,000 shipments, 7 shipments, something has happened. Now you need the power, everyone to focus on those 7. Today, everyone is focusing on the 1,000. Those 7 should be there. So that's one. I'm reading another one as well on the
Do you
Q&A.
think apparel in India
Apparel,
is
I don't
saturated?
think so. I do not think so.
I
I
think it's just shaping up in a different way.
Yeah, yeah. I think there are. See, you have to think of what is the Pareto today of brands. Correct. Do you have established big brands, and how many smaller brands are you shopping from today? If you think about it, the flirtatious nature of a consumer towards fashion today, brands, D2C brands, is not
Hmm.
as high as it is towards some of the other brands on the consumer space, right?
Hmm.
Personal care space, you are trying more than potentially you are. Fashion, I can think of 7, 8 brands which come to my mind. Personal care, I can think of 30, 40 brands.
Hmm.
Now, just compare it with how you shop offline.
Yeah.
What do you see offline? Do you see a lot of non-Unilever brands when you go to a Kirana store? Or do you
No.
see a lot of private label apparel brands when you walk into your market? You will
Hmm.
see a lot of stores which have a lot of these, call it unbranded or semi-branded products on apparel side. So the Indian consumer does shop outside the established brands. It's just that you have to figure out what value are you giving them so that it doesn't go to that store and is buying on it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think on the apparel side, there is always going to be a lot to achieve on because, as I mentioned right in the very beginning, we don't have very many brands across
Yeah.
anything that we sell on D2C,
Yeah.
right? We have brands like Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart, but there are some top tiered brands, but they are still so much more camouflaged by the marketplaces that they're
Correct.
being
Yes.
sold on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's men's fashion is
I think I
what you
forget
mentioned.
about men's fashion, women's fashion. I think what you have to answer for yourself is what does my brand stand for?
Yeah,
And if you think that is distinctive enough, you have a market.
you have a market.
You have a market.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about doing the TAM and understanding the product market fit.
TAM hai. I'm saying, look at the number of people in the country, you have TAM,
Of
right?
course.
If you what you have to answer for is if there are 300 consumers who have bought your brand,
Hmm.
Atul and Khushbu were to meet all 300 of them and ask
Hmm.
them, what does the brand stand for?
Hmm.
आपका जो वर्ड क्लाउड बनेगा वो कितना डाइवर्स है. If it is going to
Absolutely.
be very restricted, you have killed it.
Hmm.
Today, me and you talking about the established brand, people on the call today might give you very diverse numbers about something. Let me talk about Dove. What does Dove stand for? I think we'll be very close. The word cloud is going to be very restricted. Now that is important
Yeah.
to build a brand. Now you can say, "Arey, it is so saturated that 100 of the value propositions have been taken, and hence the 101st might not cut eyes." Today, India
Hmm.
has single-digit value proposition when it comes to brands which are distinctive. You have Raymond,
Hmm.
you have Manyavar. Tell me other brand where the word cloud of what this brand stands for will be very limited.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is an opportunity.
You have to differentiate.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, that's about it. Any successful apparel brands from India and e-com export? Shiprocket X might know.
Yeah, Starbucks might know. Nothing comes to my mind right now. But given the fact that a lot of manufacturing happens in India, the super
Ah,
drive of the world and everything is happening here. So uh, there is there is expertise in the country. It's about how you build the brand, how you have a very. It all comes down to what is your value prop. I've spent 4 years in marketing. I've seen magic happen when you get that insight right. Dove is
yeah,
today what it is because of the consistency of 1/4 moisturizing milk. It's not funny, right? When you
yeah.
think of it from outside, you say, "अरे इससे क्या हो जाता है?" But then you realize doing it consistently and 10 consumers saying the same thing about your brand, Colgate, right? Used to be a competitor. I was Pepsi brand manager.
Hmm.
As a dentist, like you will never have a person be in two minds about what does Colgate stand for.
Hmm.
That's what has made them an iconic brand
Yeah.
because they had a very distinct value prop. And the
Hmm.
value prop, like M caffeine, like there's pockets, and you can have a very niche solution. And given the TAM and given the population of the country, the TAM exists. Then it is about how do you reach out to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we are a very price sensitive market as India, and we have a mass market for products that are priced affordably. Bunch
Hmm.
of opportunities. It's all about an individual how we research and really figure out the way. Uh all right. So a great session. Any closing notes you have, Atul, for today's session?
I think 30,000 to 3.5 million. I think sleep dream about it. That this is what we are going to create. Imagine the number of entrepreneurs which are yet to come. Uh,
Absolutely.
and that's what lies ahead. If somebody says, "अरे e-commerce कहाँ जाएगा?" Like यहाँ जाएगा. अब किस स्पीड से जाएगा, कौन जहाँ जाएगा? If you ask me, I think there is this pre-checkout, post-checkout. How well do we together evolve the post-checkout ecosystem, and how well individual brands adopt it is going to be the key. The
Hmm.
buyer is wants to give you a chance and give us a chance. We
Hmm.
have to ensure that we do what is right for the buyer.
Hmm. All right. Make the right choices. It's all about that in life or in business. So, well, thanks a lot for your time today, Atul, and coming here live and taking out the time and doing this for the community. And yeah, looking forward to doing bunch of more stuff here. For all of us here, feel free to ping us for any queries or any questions that you may have further on this topic. And thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here, and wish you the very best for all those who have been listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.